Some people blend in, disappearing into the background, becoming just another face in the crowd. They move through life unnoticed, their presence unremarkable. But not Hulk Hogan. He was a supernova, an explosion of charisma and muscle that defied blending in. When Terry Bollea, the man behind the myth, entered a room, everything stopped. Conversations ceased, heads turned, and all eyes were drawn to the magnetic force that was Hulk Hogan. He was larger than life, a living superhero ripped from the pages of a comic book. He embodied the ideals of strength, courage, and unwavering determination. The 24-inch pythons, those bulging biceps that seemed to defy the laws of physics, and handlebar mustache, perfectly sculpted and undeniably iconic, became global symbols, instantly recognizable around the world. They were trademarks of the Hulkamania phenomenon. Before Hogan, wrestling had stars, talented athletes who thrilled audiences with their skill and athleticism, but not a phenomenon. Hogan transcended the sport, becoming a cultural force that captivated the world. He was a cultural earthquake, a seismic shift that forever altered the landscape of professional wrestling and popular entertainment, shaking the foundations of what wrestling could be, transforming it from a niche spectacle into a global entertainment empire. He redefined the rules of the game. Hogan was more than an athlete. He was a brand, a movement, a cultural icon that resonated with millions. He was Hulkamania personified. He inspired millions of kids to train, to push their limits, and to believe in the power of hard work and dedication, say their prayers to find strength and guidance in their faith, and to always believe in the power of good, and eat their vitamins to nourish their bodies and minds, and to live a healthy and fulfilling life. That's a power that goes beyond the ring, a power to inspire, to motivate, and to change lives. I've faced the toughest men in wrestling, the most formidable opponents the sport has ever seen, but Hogan's aura was unmatched. He possessed a presence that commanded attention and a charisma that captivated audiences. It wasn't just strength, it was more than just physical prowess. It was charisma and energy that electrified arenas, creating an atmosphere of unparalleled excitement and anticipation. He could command 20,000 people, filling stadiums with roaring fans. With a single gesture, a flex of his bicep, a wave of his hand, he could ignite the crowd into a frenzy. In a world built on suspension of disbelief, where reality and fantasy intertwined, he made the impossible feel real, blurring the lines between entertainment and genuine belief. Even now, decades later, it's hard to grasp his magnitude, the sheer scale of his impact on the world. Hogan was an icon, the face of a generation, a symbol of the 1980s wrestling boom. He took wrestling from smoky halls, from dimly lit arenas and regional circuits, to mainstream pop culture, to television screens and magazine covers, to the hearts and minds of millions. He was the rocket fuel that launched the industry into the stratosphere, propelling it to unprecedented heights of popularity and profitability. Every wrestler who stepped through the ropes after him, who benefited from the increased exposure and opportunities, owes him a debt of gratitude. He wasn't just a wrestler or a celebrity, he was something more, something bigger. He was the symbol of an era, the embodiment of the 1980s wrestling golden age. Hogan changed everything, forever transforming the landscape of professional wrestling and leaving an indelible mark on popular culture. The story of Hulkamania, the phenomenon that gripped the world of professional wrestling, is a tale of ambition, charisma, and perfect timing. It began with Vince McMahon's vision, a bold and audacious plan to transform wrestling from a regional attraction into a global entertainment spectacle. He saw Terry Bollea, a charismatic but relatively unknown wrestler, as more than just another face in the crowd. McMahon recognized a unique quality in Bollea, a raw magnetism that could captivate audiences. He saw the potential for something truly special. He saw the future of sports entertainment unfolding before his very eyes. He knew that Bollea had the it factor, the intangible quality that separates stars from superstars. With a new name, a name that resonated with power and heroism, Hulk Hogan, a legend was born, seemingly overnight. The stage was set for a revolution. When Hogan beat the Iron Sheik, a hated foreign villain, for the WWE Championship, it wasn't just a title change, it was a coronation, the symbolic passing of the torch to a new era. Hulkamania swept the nation, transforming wrestling from a niche interest into a mainstream obsession. It was a cultural phenomenon, a tidal wave of red and yellow merchandise, flooding stores and arenas alike. Every kid wanted to be him, to emulate his strength, his charisma, and his unwavering belief in the power of good. Every fan, young and old, wanted to see him, to witness the spectacle of Hulk Hogan in action. He became the all-American hero, a symbol of patriotism and unwavering determination, battling villains week after week, defending the values of truth, justice, and the American way. At the center of it all was Hogan, the larger-than-life figure who commanded the spotlight, making you believe that anything was possible if you just trained, said your prayers, and took your vitamins. His opponents were legends in their own right. Piper, the master of mind games; Bundy, the monstrous mountain of a man; Andre the Giant, the seemingly unstoppable force. Each was a new monster, a seemingly insurmountable obstacle for Hogan to conquer, testing his strength and his spirit. When hope seemed lost, when the odds were stacked against him, Hogan would hulk up, drawing strength and energy from the roaring crowd, fueled by their unwavering belief in him. That dramatic comeback became his signature, the moment everyone waited for with bated breath. The villain would cheat, resorting to underhanded tactics. The referee would be down, incapacitated and unable to maintain order, but Hogan would rise, fueled by the energy of his Hulkamaniacs. The finger point, a defiant gesture of challenge; the leg shake, a tremor of impending doom for his opponent; the big boot, a crushing blow; the atomic leg drop, the finishing maneuver. 1, 2, 3, victory! The crowd erupted every time, a collective release of pent-up energy and excitement. It was pure theater, a morality play in spandex, a battle between good and evil played out on the grandest stage. We couldn't get enough of the excitement, the drama, and the sheer spectacle of it all. Hulkamania became an empire, a multi-million-dollar industry built on the foundation of Hogan's charisma and appeal. It all started with one man's vision, Vince McMahon's, and one man's charisma, Hulk Hogan's, a partnership that would change the face of professional wrestling forever. Hogan was the foundation upon which the WWE built its global empire, a true icon of the sport. You can't talk about Hogan without talking about WrestleMania. The two are forever linked. Vince McMahon bet everything on the first WrestleMania, with Hogan at the center. Teaming him with Mr. T brought in a new audience. Hogan and Mr. T versus Piper and Orndorff wasn't just a match, it was a cultural event. Hogan delivered under immense pressure, launching WrestleMania into history. The next year he faced King Kong Bundy in a steel cage. But WrestleMania 3 defined an era. Hogan versus Andre the Giant. In front of 93,000 fans, Hogan slammed Andre. The body slam heard round the world. That moment made him immortal. It wasn't about technical wrestling, it was about storytelling. David versus Goliath, and David won. Hogan went on to main event more WrestleManias against Savage, Warrior, even The Rock. Each match was a spectacle, each entrance iconic. WrestleMania was his stage. He was Mr. WrestleMania before the nickname existed. He built the house for future generations. Hogan's legacy is forever tied to the grandest stage. He made WrestleMania what it is. The showcase of the immortals was his domain. Hogan's charisma couldn't be contained by wrestling alone. Hollywood called and he answered. No holds barred, suburban commando, Mr. Nanny. He became a pop culture fixture. He was everywhere. TV, movies, cartoons, even hosting Saturday Night Live. Hogan's crossover made wrestling mainstream. Then came his biggest reinvention, Hollywood Hogan in WCW. He turned heel, leading the NWO, shocking the world. The ultimate hero became the ultimate villain, and it worked. It reignited his career and changed wrestling forever. Hogan proved he could reinvent himself and stay on top. His range and willingness to evolve kept him relevant. Why was Hogan so beloved? It was the connection. He made every fan feel seen, especially kids. When he pointed or cupped his ear, you felt included. Fans weren't just watching, they were part of the show. His message was simple. Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. He stood for truth, justice, and the American way. In a cynical world, Hogan offered hope. The sea of red and yellow was a badge of honor. Tearing his shirt became an iconic ritual. The branding was primal and effective. Hogan's connection felt real. He spent hours with Make-A-Wish kids. He understood the responsibility of being a hero. Fans loved him because he loved them back. That bond was the secret to his power. Hogan was more than a performer, he was a real-life superhero. The Hulkamaniacs were his strength. That connection endures. August 1st, 2025, dawned with the same quiet promise as any other day. The sun rose, casting a golden glow over the world, seemingly oblivious to the seismic shift that was about to occur. Birds chirped, cars started their engines, and life began its familiar rhythm. Then, without warning, the news broke, shattering the tranquility. A digital tsunami of information flooded screens and airwaves. Hulk Hogan, the man who defined a generation of wrestling, the icon who transcended the sport, had passed away at 71. The news was delivered with a somber tone, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy Hogan himself always exuded. At first, no one believed it. It felt like a cruel hoax, a twisted joke. The idea of Hulk Hogan, the seemingly invincible force of nature, succumbing to mortality was simply incomprehensible. He was supposed to be immortal, a timeless figure etched into the collective consciousness. His image, his persona, his very being seemed to defy the natural order, but the reports were true, confirmed by official sources and relayed by every major news outlet. The unbelievable had become reality. A sudden heart attack in Clearwater, Florida had claimed the life of the legend. The details were sparse, but the message was clear. The world had lost a titan. The thunder of Hulkamania was silenced, leaving an echoing void in its wake. The energy, the passion, the sheer spectacle that Hogan embodied had vanished. The shock was immediate and global, rippling through every corner of the world. From bustling cities to remote villages, the news spread like wildfire. For over 40 years, Hogan was a constant presence, a fixture in our lives. He evolved, he adapted, but he never faded away. It felt like losing Superman, a symbol of hope and strength suddenly taken from us. The world felt a little less bright, a little less powerful. Social media exploded with disbelief and grief, a digital outpouring of emotion from millions around the globe. Tributes, memories, and condolences flooded every platform. The world paused to process the loss, to reflect on the impact Hogan had on their lives. A collective moment of silence descended, a shared acknowledgement of the void he left behind. For those in wrestling, it was personal, a profound loss that resonated deep within their souls. He was a mentor, an inspiration, and a friend to countless individuals. He was our Babe Ruth, our Muhammad Ali, a cultural icon who transcended the boundaries of sport. His name was synonymous with wrestling itself. He built the modern industry. We all stood on his shoulders, benefiting from the foundation he laid. His vision and charisma transformed wrestling into a global phenomenon. Whether you loved or hated him, you respected him, acknowledging his undeniable influence and impact. His presence commanded attention, and his legacy demanded respect. The news spread through the wrestling world. No one could believe it, struggling to reconcile the image of the invincible Hulk Hogan with the reality of his passing. The indestructible icon was mortal after all, a poignant reminder of our shared humanity. Even legends are not immune to the passage of time. The loss was felt everywhere, a testament to his global reach and enduring popularity. Flags flew at half-mast and tributes poured in from every corner of the earth. Hogan's passing marked the end of an era, a turning point in the history of wrestling. The landscape would forever be altered by his absence. The roar of the crowd became an echo, a distant memory of the electrifying atmosphere he created. The silence was deafening, the legend was gone, but his impact remained, etched into the very fabric of wrestling and popular culture. His influence would continue to shape the industry for generations to come. The world mourned a true giant, a larger-than-life figure who captivated audiences and inspired millions. His legacy would endure. Wrestling would never be the same, forever changed by the absence of its most iconic figure. A new chapter had begun, but the shadow of Hulk Hogan would always loom large. The immortal was gone, leaving behind a void that could never truly be filled. A final farewell to a true legend, but his spirit lived on, in the hearts of his fans and the memories of his peers. His legacy would continue to inspire and entertain for years to come. Rest in power, Hulk Hogan. Your legend will never die. The world reacted instantly. Front-page headlines honored the man who transformed wrestling. Tributes poured in from every corner of entertainment. The Rock, Stallone, and countless others shared memories. Even those who never watched wrestling had a Hogan story. Fans gathered at arenas, left flowers and bandanas, and shared childhood photos. Hogan's message helped people through tough times. Wrestling promotions united in tribute. WWE aired a moving package, rivals did the same. Announcers choked back tears, wrestlers pointed to the sky. The 10-bell salute echoed in arenas worldwide. The industry paused to honor its king. The world mourned together. What is Hulk Hogan's legacy? Modern wrestling wouldn't exist without him. He was the catalyst for a global empire. Hogan sold out arenas, broke records, and made wrestling mainstream. He created the blueprint for the wrestling superhero. The Hulk up, the taunts, the crowd connection. He set the standard. He taught performers to command a stage and tell powerful stories. His legacy is complex with controversies and struggles, but the joy he brought outweighs the flaws. For millions, he'll always be a real-life superhero. His legacy lives on in fans and wrestlers he inspired. The shadow of Hogan will always loom over wrestling. He wrote the book on sports entertainment. In the quiet aftermath, we ask, what do we take from Hogan's story? The power of belief. He made people believe in themselves. The art of reinvention. He wasn't afraid to change. The burden of fame. He was larger than the man himself. His story is a lesson in compassion for our heroes. What you gonna do when Hulkamania is gone? The man is gone, but the spirit lives on in every fan. His story proves one person can change the world. Cherish the legends while they're here. Rest in peace, brother.